In this video, I'm going to teach you how to structure your LLC for $50,000 in business funding. Let's begin. All right, switching over to my handy dandy Google document, I'm going to take time to not only show you guys, but also explain how you can properly structure your business to be in position to get access to $50,000 in funding. And first and foremost, it starts off with your business name. So we want to make sure that when we name our business, the biggest mistake that most entrepreneurs make is one that we don't want to make, which is giving our business a name that's connected to a high risk industry, right? We definitely don't want to do that. Now, the reason why we don't want to do that is because banks' number one priority, of course, is to make money, but they want to minimize the amount of risk they do in the process of them getting their bag, so to speak. With that being said, when you, as someone who is looking for funding, come to a bank and you have a business that has a name attached to a high risk industry like credit, real estate, crypto, and trucking, it's not that you can't get funding, it just drastically minimizes your chances of maximizing how much funding you could potentially get access to. So the way that you want to go ahead and work around that is giving your business as general of a name as possible to ensure that when you go to banks, you're not ticking them off to think that you're in a high risk space, which ultimately can hurt the amount of capital you can get. My general rule of thumb that I normally give business owners, both new and aspiring, is when naming your business to keep it super duper general, right? So you could take your middle name or your last name and then sandwich that together with a general business term. So we have some examples here like Anderson Consulting, Smith Solutions, Johnson Enterprises, right? These are businesses to where whether you're in real estate, trucking, Airbnb, it doesn't matter. If I just go off of your business name, I would not know that you're in a high risk industry. So giving your business general name like that is the way to go. After getting our business name, the next step, of course, is to get a business address. Now, this is also very important because another big mistake that most business owners make, especially when they're just getting started, is they create their business, but they give their business their home address because they, of course, most business owners don't have a brick and mortar or actual commercial location that they're getting their business started out of, which is fine. However, the last thing that you want to do is create a business and give that business an address that's directly connected to where you live for two reasons. Number one, all information connected to your business is public. So when you give your business your home address, you're essentially making your home address and your place of residence known to the general public, which we want to avoid. The next reason is also because, once again, we want to make our business look as professional and as legitimate as possible. How we ensure that is by making sure that every part of our business is separate from us as its own entity and not connected to us. So we don't want to connect it to our home address. We don't want it connected to our phone number and all these are the different things we're going to get into later in the video. But when it comes to home address, if you're watching this and you're thinking to yourself, okay, Marv, I understand why I shouldn't have my business address connected to my home address, but I don't have a brick and mortar. I don't have a commercial location. What do I do? That's where you start looking into what is called a virtual address or a virtual office. So for those who are not familiar, a virtual office is pretty much when you can reach out to certain providers of said office and they allow you to rent a suite, virtually rent a suite in a commercial building in whatever city that you live in. And then from there, you can use the address of that entire building as your business address. So whenever your business is receiving any form of mail, the mail would go to said virtual office. You can go pick it up at any time. But more importantly, you can now use that address when structuring your business and then filling out business credit applications. So that way, when the banks are looking at the application and they're crossing T's and dotting I's, they see that your business is legitimate because it's not connected to your home address. It has its own standalone address. Now, the top 3 resources when it comes to giving your business its own address that I recommend from personal experience and third-hand experience is Regis, Anytime Mailbox, which is the resource I currently use for my current business, Takeoff Financial, and Opus. Right? Regis, Anytime Mailbox, and Opus. Like the thing with Opus, and most people actually don't know this, Opus actually is one of the few virtual office providers that when you get set up with them, they actually take your monthly payments and contribute said monthly payments to your business credit report, which is pretty cool. I still personally don't use them because that isn't what I prioritize when getting my business address. I prioritize cost efficiency, which is why I went with Anytime Mailbox because of these 3 options, it is the most cost efficient. But different strokes for different folks. You have these 3, you know which one I use. Do your due diligence to see which one makes the most sense for you. After we get our business address and we have our business name, the next step is to now give our business its own phone number. right? Once again, part of making our business look as legitimate as possible is giving it its own phone number. We do not want our business to have a phone number that's connected to our number. The rule of thumb that I also give business owners as well And this isn't the end all be all. However, if you can get this, it does make your business look even better. If you can, when giving your business its own phone number, try to give it an 800 number. And the reason why I say that is because most big businesses and most legitimate businesses have an 800 number, 888-833-1-800, like 188 7. The list goes on and on and on and on and on. So in the same way, we want our business to look as legitimate as possible too. And as a result, if that is the case, we want to go ahead and secure an 800 number if we can to make our business look more professional, more legit, more credible. You'll notice every key point of what I'm breaking down here in terms of the structuring of our business for the funding, I constantly harp back to the words legitimate, professional, right? Credible. Why? Because if you're going to an institution for $50,000 in funding, these are the things that they care about. And these are the things that they weigh into their decision-making process to say yay to the 50,000 or nay to the 50,000. So it's very important that we prioritize these. Now, when it comes to business phone number, the three that I would recommend, phone.com, grasshopper.com, and Google Voice. I only recommend Google Voice because for the sake of this video, all the options I'm leaning towards are either ones that I personally use or ones that favor cost efficiency. Because if you're a new business owner, obviously you're in a space right now where you want to prioritize saving as much of your money as possible, right? Minimizing expenses, maximizing profitability. But even if you aren't, Google Voice is still a really good option. I know a couple of business owners that use it. I personally don't use it. I use a platform called Ring Central, but that's a little bit more costly. And when you're like more of a mid-tier and higher level entrepreneur and beyond, then it makes more sense to kind of use a Ring Central. But if not, and you're just getting started or you want to really save money, Google Voice. Google Voice will get the job done. So we have our business name. We have our business name, we have our business address, we have our business phone number. Now let's give our business its own website. We want to give our business its own website, right? Now this is super simple, and I think a lot of people beat themselves over the head about this because they overcomplicate it more than it needs to be. You can go to a freelance website like a Fiverr, right? Or another option is like a Upwork.com, and you can find someone with a graphic design background or skill set and ask them for anywhere between $100 to $125, or pay them, $100 to $125, maybe 150 max, to get a website set up. I'll say to you guys the same thing I say to all of my clients and people that I work with when it comes to structuring businesses. It's less about it being pretty and it's more about it being present. As long as it's present, that's what matters most to banks and lenders, because once again, they're crossing T's, they're dotting I's, they're looking at your credit application and they're checking it twice, right? And these are the different things that they're looking at when they're determining how much funding they want to give you. So if that's the case, we want to make sure it's there. So getting our business website set up, super simple, super easy. It doesn't have to be the greatest website of all time. It just has to be present. So always make sure of that. And also, guys, speaking of website, I would be remiss if I didn't take a second and a minute, maybe even an hour, to tell you guys about my favorite website, which is takeoffinancial.com. And the reason why it's my favorite website is because if you head to that website right now, you have the opportunity to book a free consultation to speak with me and my team about getting your credit restored so that you can leverage information like what we're talking about in this video to go out and get access to business funding. But you can't do that if your credit isn't where it needs to be. And that's where me and my team can help. So if you're interested in speaking with us about getting your credit exactly where it needs to be, go ahead and head over to takeoffinancial.com. That's takeoffinancial.com. The link for the website is going to be in the description below. Back to the video. We got our business name, we have our business phone number, we have our business address, we have our business website. Next, we want our business email. We want to get our business email. So another big mistake, right, that I see a lot of business owners make. Never, ever, 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 ever connect your business to a personal email address. You better not do it. If you do it, I'll fly where you live and you're going to have to slapbox. Like, it's really going to be one of those kind of situations. No, but in all seriousness, guys, never connect your business to a personal email address ever. Once again, we want to keep us as an entity separate from our business as an entity. And in doing so, it means that we want to make sure our personal address and our personal email and our business email is separate. Like, I see people with email addresses, mybusiness101@gmail or hit my business up 54@gmail. Like, we don't do that. Instead, you're going to go to Google, more specifically G Suite, and it's going to cost you, I believe, about $6 to $10 a month. And we're going to pay Google $6 to $10 a month to make sure that we have a business email address. What's a business email address? Well, a business email address is an email address like info@companyname.com, contact@companyname.com, support@companyname.com. These are different emails that you can now have and put in place so that, once again, we're as credible, as professional, and as legitimate as possible. And we ensure that this is the case by making sure we have emails like this, right? So we're able to get that through G Suite, through Google, Google My Business. And then from there, once you have that, you're good to go. Now, once you have your business name, your business address, your business phone number, your business website, and your business email. Now it's time to go and create your LLC. So the big mistake that most people make is they do it the other way around. They create the LLC and then they get all the other stuff figured out after. But when you create the LLC first, a lot of the mistakes I just helped you guys avoid are the very same reason why entrepreneurs make those same mistakes, because they didn't follow this exact flow. When you create your LLC first, naturally, because you didn't take time to get your business address and phone number and website and all these other different things set up first, now when you go and you set up your LLC, what are you going to do? You're going to use your personal information to create this LLC, when that's not what we want to do. So you get the information, the email, address, phone number, website, name, all those things taken care of. Then you get to the business. Now, LLC is comprised of three components. The first one being our articles of organization. So for those who do not know, your articles of organization is pretty much the paperwork that makes your business a business. Now, there are a couple different places you can go to get it. Some people go to LegalZoom, other people go through their Secretary of State website, and there are a couple other LLC creation resources that you could look to. My personal favorite, and by the way, none of the resources that are recommended on this website am I getting paid to recommend to individuals. I only recommend what I use or what I know other people have had success in using, so that I know it's not gonna, you guys don't come back in the comment section like, you told me, and I'm like, hey man, I'm sorry, right? I'm only gonna recommend things that either I use or people I know use. And with that being the case, I would recommend a website called busy.com, formerly known as Inkfile. Anybody who's been following me for a long time knows that I really, really like Inkfile, just because unlike a LegalZoom, they're not gonna charge you exorbitant fees on top of whatever it is you have to pay for your state filing fee. So in order to get your LLC set up, you will have to pay a state filing fee. That state filing fee does vary from state to state. In New York, where I'm from, the state filing fee is about $125 one time, right? But depending on the state that you're living in, it could be a little bit higher than that. It could be a little bit lower than that. However, what I love about Inkfile is that unlike a lot of other websites, they're not going to charge you the state filing fee plus additional fees. You only pay the state filing fee. And that's pretty much it, right? Now, once you get your articles of organization set up, the next part you need is your EIN. So for those who do not know, EIN is an acronym that stands for Employer Identification Number. So this is pretty much the social security number of your business, the heartbeat of your business, right? This is what allows the IRS to identify your business for tax filing and tax purposes. And by the way, guys, make sure you're filing your taxes on time, especially if you're a business owner. Do not want y'all to end up in prison or jail. That would be bad. So the EIN is absolutely free. You don't have to go through any fancy smancy resource for this. You can literally go directly to the irs.gov website. And if you're going during a business day and going during a business hour, you'll be able to access their online database to go ahead and get this set up and put yourself in position to get the EIN. And the final part of what makes up your LLC is your operating agreement. Now, here's the thing, right? When it comes to your operating agreement, this is like the third component of the LLC that many people really don't talk about like that. So for those who do not know, your operating agreement is a set of paperwork that outlines the nature of what kind of business your business does. Unless you're going for like a one-time installment loan and business funding of, $100,000 and up or $75,000 and up, very rarely will you ever get asked for an operating agreement, especially when you're going for funding by leveraging your personal credit. I still recommend for people to have it on hand because it does make up your business. You can pay someone to do this for you. What I've done, to be very transparent with you guys, I've found operating agreement templates online, printed them out or downloaded them. And then from there, through me downloading them, I just plug my business information in there and just have it tucked away in a Google Drive folder somewhere. And that's pretty much it. I've applied for hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of funding on the business side, not really more so on the personal. On the business side, never have they even inquired. They asked for the EIN and they dang sure asked for that articles of organization. Never asked for the operating agreement. Like, it never comes up. So, and I've even asked business bankers themselves about it. They've never really made a big deal of it. Like, they're like, oh yeah, it's great that you have it, but we don't need it. Good to have. Make sure you have it tucked away somewhere, but very rarely will you ever use it once it is in your possession. So there's that. Once you take all of these things that I've outlined in the exact order that I've broken it down here in the video, from your business name to your business address, business phone number, business website, email, articles of organization, EIN, and your operating agreement, you can take all of these things in this LLC structure, plus a good credit report, and get access to the $50,000 in business funding. That's all for this video, you guys. If you haven't already, once again, make sure you hit the link in the description to head over to takeoffinancial.com to book a free consult with me and my team. Hope you all enjoyed, but until next time, peace, family.